Our two cents.
With Oscar.
Welcome back to our 2 cents. We're doing it again here at Raxo Studios with your host, Oscar. Thank you for all your support. Please hit the subscribe button. It's free to you and it means the world to me. And also, leave a comment for the algorithm. It helps keep it moving along. Also, I'm very thankful for the last 6 subscribers. Awesome. YouTube is popping nowadays. Thank you for all of you that listen to me and sign up. Also, if you're new here, you know we're going to tell you what we do here. Our 2 cents is all about my opinion, not yours, mine. And also, from time to time, we get to talk to exciting content creators that we come across. People who are generous enough to give me their time. In our 2 cents on all social media and our 2 cents, WOscar.com. Thank you. Leave a comment for the algorithm. Let's get started. Buzzsprout, let's get your podcast launched today. Today is a great day to start your own podcast. Whether you're looking for a new marketing channel, have a message you want to share with the world, or maybe, I don't know, you just think it would be fun to have your own talk show, program, whatever you want to call it. Podcasting is an easy, inexpensive, and fun way to expand your reach online. Buzzsprout is hands down the easiest and best way to launch, promote, and track your podcast. Your show can be online listed in all major podcast directories like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more within minutes of finishing your recording. Podcasting isn't hard when you have the right partners, and the team at Buzzsprout is passionate about helping you succeed. Join over hundreds of thousands of podcasters already using Buzzsprout to get their message out to the world. Let's create something together. Following the link in the show notes lets Buzzsprout know that I sent you. If you sign up for a paid plan, you get a $20 Amazon gift card and help support thy show. Thank you. And now, happy National Real Sugar Day. What is sugar, you say? Now, everything that you drink it says 0 sugar, but somehow it still tastes sweet. Well, they are right. It says 0 sugar because it has 0 sugar. Whatever else it has is just a processed chemical that tastes like sugar. Similar material. I don't know what the fuck the word is. Anyways, happy National Real Sugar. October 14th is National Real Sugar Day, and we celebrate the people who harvest sugar crops and learn about its origins. We also learn to balance a healthy diet while enjoying foods made with real sugar. Hashtag National Real Sugar Day. Today, we dedicate the entire day to celebrate the gold standard of sweetness on National Real Sugar Day. In March 2021 survey, 1,500 U.S. consumers were asked to name any ingredients that make food or beverage more enjoyable to eat or drink. Now, we asked 1,500 people at a nation over 300 million people. How else can we get the right result? Asking the bare minimum amount of people, and then we generalize the answer. Anyways, of course, sugar came in as the number one ingredient. Not only does real sugar provide our food with amazing flavors, aroma, color, and texture, it is also available to anyone who wants to make their life a little sweeter. The real sugar we stock in our pantries and use in many of our favorite recipes is grown by sugar beet and sugar cane farmers across the goddamn United States of America. Sugar is a simple carbohydrate that provides energy when you need it. In fact, glucose is the building blocks of carbohydrates and is key fuel source for the body. In addition, real sugar is essential for the brain, muscle, and other organs to properly function. That being said, if you eat too much, your body's going to start storing it in the side, storing. Is that the right word? Yeah, storing it in the side of your face, side of your gut, side of your boobs, everywhere. We have to have a controlled amount. Let's not be animals, because not even animals eat that much sugar at once. We're some type of special animal. Happy National Real Sugar Day, October 14th. Now, let us celebrate also National Be Bald and Be Free Day. Happy National Be Bald and Be Free Day. Be Bald and Be Free on October 14 celebrates the naked crown. Sometimes the day is referred to Bald and Free Day. Of course, you had to give people who are losing their hair a day so that they can feel grateful for losing their hair. That they at least have a day. Hashtag Be Bald, Be Free Day. Bear nogging takes the spotlight during this holiday. It recognizes the beauty of a naked scalp. If it has half hair, I don't know how beautiful it is. But baldness comes in several forms too. Partial or total. If it's partial, it's not beautiful. If it's total, then it might make it look beautiful. Sometimes a chrome dome is a choice. Others come by it naturally. Like such. Look at my baldness. Mine is natural. Keep it short. No barber needed. Sometimes we do. Whether your chrome dome is a result of hair loss or shaving your head, this national day celebrates you, and not everyone goes bald, traditionally aging and hair loss. Some lose their hair for medical treatments, making this observance extra special for these individuals. Anyways, happy National Be Bald and Free Day. If that's you, if you're partially bald, may I advise you, just let it go. Let it go right now. Let it go. It'll be gone. It'll be gone. There's nothing you could do about it without going to expensive treatments. And if you're a person that is in my situation, you probably don't have the expenses to go through that expensive procedure. So therefore, I'm getting ready as a young man, as a young individual, as a young person. I'm getting ready for when those times come. Although my dad, at the age of 50, mid-50s, he does have a great set of hair. So I'm probably not going to go bald anytime soon, which is great. Which brings me to my next point. Heisenberg, today is for you. Happy Be Bald and Be Free Day. Anyways, what we do here, everybody knows, but from time to time, we enjoy having conversations with other content creators. Now, I usually keep myself away from podcasters, not by choice, but because they don't answer me back. But that's all right. But from time to time, no, I've had podcasters too. I'm just talking crap. But from time to time, we get somebody that is, well, not from time to time. Actually, this is the first time that I've managed to get a conversation with one of my favorite podcasts in all the world. So I don't want to ruin the presentation any more than I already have. But without further ado, I bring to you Mr. Heisenberg and Daddy Bones from the infamous People Time podcast. People Time. People Time.
Hey, what's up, Oscar?
Hey, what's up? Finally, I get to hear your voices. Jesus Christ, and it's not through an episode.
Yeah. Hopefully this is not the most off-putting thing ever to have myself censored. It probably doesn't look great.
No, that's fine. I'll work with it. It doesn't matter if you guys want to maintain your what's the word I'm looking for? Shit. What is
it's basically just our identities. Or making sure that it's not really known. We've talked about it before, but
no, trust me, I know. I was actually listening to Marilyn Monroe today, and you guys were started talking on that one. The saying about you guys didn't want to. Do you want to make it about yourself? You want to make it about the person in history. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, am I speaking to Daddy Bones?
Daddy Bones. We should have a Heisenberg should be joining soon.
Where is he? Did he fall asleep?
Nah, I don't know.
I almost gave up because I was like, God damn it. I wasn't, because right. When you guys dropped your last episode, I'll tell you. When you guys dropped your last episode, which was Werner, I don't even know how to say his name.
I know what you're talking about. Warner von Braun, however you say his name.
Exactly that. Well, when you guys dropped that one, at the end of that one, you guys said that you guys had more coming. And after that, you guys didn't drop anything. And my mind went into conspiracy. I was like, they got to them. They're dropping knowledge. So
the People Time bunker is strong. We just we had to take a little bit of a hiatus for a bit.
All right. Well, that's good. Good to hear that you guys are doing good. Hey, I don't think I found, because I was looking for a history podcast. I even went to the Dan Carlin, right? The history podcast that he has.
Yeah.
But his wasn't, I gotta say, his wasn't as fun as you guys make yours.
Well, good. Because I love his. His is a great source of information. It's very straightforward, of course, where we dick around a bunch, and that's kind of like what we had to do to make ourselves stand out. Was okay, we'll give you history, but we're also gonna give you dick jokes too, and they're gonna be terrible, but it's whatever.
Nah, they're great, man. They're great. I enjoy. At least I personally, I think I've learned more from you guys than I ever did in school. And mind you, I took AP history. All right, so
hell yeah,
if that says anything. But
that's how it was for us too. Anytime I do research and we start getting ready to do an episode, my mind's always blown. I mean, not only just stuff that I didn't learn in school, but opposing things, right? I got told certain stuff and I was like, okay. And then later on, when you go and research this stuff, you're like, oh, the things I learned in school weren't that accurate, or at least they didn't really go into a lot of details. So your mind kind of just keeps going with what you assume, and then you realize you were just wrong. So yeah, it's been fun for us too.
Yeah, well, hey, you guys definitely make it much fun than anything I've heard. And you know what? What brought me to you guys, because I was like, let me allow Heisenberg in. And there he is, if we can see him.
He's gonna probably keep his camera off, I think.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine too then.
What's up, dude?
What?
There he is.
You put censored on your face.
Yeah.
That works. All right. So this is how you're gonna do it, right? Heisenberg?
I'm good with it. Yeah. Heisenberg, are you gonna keep yours off?
Yeah, I have like an MF Doom mask, but I can't find it. That's all I got.
Oh, that works. We'll go with this then.
Must stay anonymous.
All right, gentlemen. Should we start or wait a little longer?
I'm good. Whenever you're ready.
I'm good, man. I'm eating top of ramen though. So.
Oh hell yeah! I can't go wrong.
You're gonna eat food right when you start the show, bro. The program.
I don't know, man. I got off work at 6. This is like gotta eat.
Oh no, I feel you. I just got home from work too, so I'm in the same boat as you did. Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna get started. So I'm gonna let you guys go ahead and introduce yourself. Please let us know who you are, what you guys do, and also please plug everything you have going on as well.
All right. Well, we're People Time Podcast. We started up a podcast a few years back to do the most influential people in history because we found out that we were idiots and didn't know anything. So we figured, hey, well, we'll do the research and then we'll put it into bite-size, kind of formula that we can produce into a podcast. And each episode, we have a different name that we make up. So, of course, when we join other people's podcasts, we have made up names as well. You got Daddy Bones here. And then my other host is Heisenberg, who's not going to show his face either. I mean, he's not going to even open up his camera.
I just finished Breaking Bad for like the third time, so it makes sense.
Perfect.
Of course.
Just imagine Bryan Cranston in a bad mood.
Bald.
That's what I look like.
Nearly dead. Is that what we're talking
about? Yeah.
Cancer-ridden.
Jesus Christ. And that is a problem. All right. Well, hey, man, I want to say thank you guys for accepting to do this conversation with me. Ever since I found you guys, I was like, I want to talk to them, but just to shoot the shit, just to get to know you guys, because I feel like I've gotten to know your podcast, because I've been listening to them, because I was trying to tell you earlier, is that I came across your guys' podcast because I wanted to learn about Genghis Khan. You notice how I said it, right?
Yeah.
And that is because I learned it from you guys. Not because before I would just call it Genghis Khan the whole time, right? But I learned from you guys that's the wrong name. Because I was looking for it, and like I was telling you, I was trying to listen to Dan Carlin about Genghis Khan, and I didn't really come across anything interesting the way he shares his knowledge. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's great the way he shares, but I just don't find it interesting in that form. The form that you guys do it, that's just about most of the facts, they stuck to me, and I still recite them. And this was about
awesome
at the end of March, because it was a couple of weeks after you guys dropped your episode, which was I don't even know, what was the name again?
Yeah, it's Vernon von Braun, or however you say his name.
That guy.
There's some dispute there, yeah.
It's German, so I can't say it, of course.
Yeah, all right.
Well, so everything I saw is like, it's braun in German is brown. It's the color brown. Right. So you can say it. You could say it either way. But our associate that co-hosted with us is a much more educated person than me. He says brawn, and I say brown, and he can kiss my ass.
You know what? You're saying that he's the more intelligent, and I don't mean to pick sides over here, but from the impression that I got is that I'm not saying that the Daddy Bones is not well educated, but I was under the impression that Heisenberg was the one that was more educated in.
Oh, no! I meant on that episode, the third voice you hear.
Our guest, yeah.
Our guest. He's the guy who pronounces it Braun, and he is indisputably far more educated than both of us combined.
But it is true, though. Heisenberg is the more intelligent of us two.
I wouldn't go that far. Dude, I think I read books so I can spout facts, but in the day-to-day, I'm basically a handicapped person.
He's being modest. Here's the thing: no one has
intervened into.
We will have these episodes, and we'll be talking, and I'll do these deep dive research, and try to find stuff that I can throw in there. And as I'm starting to get going on this like really unknown fact, it's just like you're gonna find it in like 2 places ever, and it's just not common. This kid will rattle it off. I'm just like, where did you even learn that? He's like, I don't know. I'm just like, well, okay, yeah, he's a genius. He just pretends he's not.
That's what I'm mostly impressed by. I'm like, you guys have so many episodes, and some episodes are even up to like 4 hours, where you guys have to split them into 2 just to make them more consumable, right?
Yeah.
And I'm over here.
Motherfuckers can talk.
Oh, you guys can. Not only that, not only that, but you guys can retain so much information about a person, and I find that really impressive. You know what? I'll barely even remember exactly what I told you guys in the next 3 hours after we're done with this. I'm gonna have to come back and listen to it just to know how dumb I sounded next to you guys and shit.
No, not at
No.
all.
And yeah, and you should know, like we are legitimately both college dropouts,
How,
just
how
regular dudes.
how
Nothing
long did you guys go to
academically crazy.
college? Sorry, I'm sorry. What was that?
We're not academically like
Inclined
inclined.
or educated.
Hey,
Well, I went to college, but it was like, I mean, I went to film classes and human sexuality and a bunch of random stuff. I didn't even look up history. I did get really into science and physics, so I took some classes there. But yeah, I ended up going and taking a job in another state about a month into college. So I didn't get very far. I didn't even get many grades or anything. It was just pick up and go. We both of us were really just naturally we like to research stuff, history based or whatever. So we just do it for fun. And the podcast really just started out because we weren't sure, what direction we wanted to go. And we actually have episodes that I don't think People Time listeners, dabblers, do not know about. We have episodes of what People Time was gonna be, and it is not anything close to what it is now or what anyone's heard.
It was supposed to be a comedy podcast, but then
it was like we
like
were gonna
style
put
of comedy
fictional.
is so
Oh, you go ahead, man. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, like our style of comedy, I think is just so like insular and bizarre. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a fucking audience for this. And really, we wanted to we realized we had a platform where like, well, this could force me to learn. Like it'll compel me to do what I've always wanted to do, which is educate myself. And so that just kind of fell into place.
Oh, wait a minute. So you guys were doing podcasts before the episode, the first I don't even remember who it is. It was the first episode you guys have on Spotify is. But how many episodes did you guys record before that?
So it's interesting because we didn't release any of them. We decided when we very first started to do any kind of podcasting, we were going to get 10 episodes done. That way we kind of had a little bit of time to do research or prep or whatever. And so it started off with us saying, let's take these actual historical events that are well known, and we're going to place in these idiots that are fictional, and they're going to be the cause of what happens in these actual events that nobody knows about, but it's not real. So like as an example, we had like the Titanic, and we inserted these two characters as like they were supposed to be the people in the crow's nest watching, and that's why it hit an iceberg, is because they were too busy arguing with each other.
It was basically like, I think we called it two idiots in history or two jackasses in history, where like we would do some research about a thing and then insert two fictional characters who are just assholes and cause the problem.
Right. When they hit the iceberg, it's like, oh, let's not check on that. It's probably not a big deal. As it's like sinking and stuff, right?
Some narrative about like what are they called? Guildenstern and Rosenstern or whatever the fucker thing is. Where they're just like people out of time, but they caused it. So it's like the bubonic plague or something would somehow be their fault, and then
we ended up changing.
We had a really funny one where we killed Jesus.
Right. Well, we convinced
Judas into it.
Judas into betraying him. That was the whole. So we had a bunch of episodes
because we thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Like the two jackasses thought it'd be funny. They're like, I bet we could talk Judas into turning on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That guy's an idiot.
Yeah. You know what?
But, you know. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say you guys are really good at improvising. Like, well, you say you took some film classes. Is that where that comes from, or that you're just natural at it? I mean, I don't claim to be an expert on that subject, but from what I see, you guys are great. I enjoy it.
Thanks. I don't think we're. I don't know. I think there's a little bit of natural style of our humor, which is we will look at something that's kind of funny, and then we like to play with it a little bit. We'll insert like what happens if this was the next thing that happened, or if we put this fictional scenario together inside this world that actually exists, and then we just start talking as if we are there, and then it kind of plays out that way. But I mean, I don't think we're necessarily super great at it. I think our humor is a little bit I think we're hilarious, but I think it's such a niche style of humor. Like, and it's stupid. We laugh at our own dumb jokes. It's like we're the dumbest kids around, and it just holds together because we're telling history to go along with it. So both sides kind of balance each other out while we struggle to like keep a good podcast episode going.
Now you guys do great. You guys have me hooked. Like that your podcast, People Time, is my go-to every time I'm at work because I work construction. So I'm usually left alone just working by myself. So I'll just throw in an earbud in there and just start listening to People Time. And that's
hell yeah.
That's over the Joe Rogan podcast, just so you guys know, because I know you guys have mentioned it before.
Oh. No, I'm very glad. I'm very glad that we take place over Joe Rogan.
Hey, at least in my list, you guys do definitely. Yeah. How much time do you guys? Because I know you guys are regular people, both of you. How long does it take you guys like to do a research on a person and then decide, okay, we're gonna record on this day? How long does that take you?
Go ahead, Heisenberg. Me and him both have different styles of research.
Yeah,
okay.
It depends, man. So like the thing about it is not every historical person is treated equally, right? So
of course.
Like when I feel like I'm gonna do a big one, I'm gonna do Marilyn Monroe or I'm gonna do George Patton, I set aside a solid week and a half or 2 weeks where it's gonna be 1 or 2 autobiographies and a handful of documentaries and then note taking. The recording is going to take like 5 hours. But then there are times when it's like Mansa Musa, who deserves a lot more attention, but really like there's not an official book on him. So that took me like an afternoon, so it just kind of depends.
Yeah, the bigger known names are a little bit easier because there's so much information out there to find that you can easily put together an episode. The ones that are a little bit smaller or there's controversy over the history of what happened in the events or whatever, then it becomes a little bit harder to kind of make sure we're giving accurate information. Because that was one thing we wanted to make sure of, was that even though we're dickheads and we are saying stupid jokes, we want to at least try to give the information as accurate as possible,
Yeah. You know which one?
I don't want anybody to come away from our podcast thinking they have a fact that's not a fact, which is why our non-facts are so absurd that it's easy to tell. Like, as far as I don't want to like hurt anybody's feelings if nobody knows this, but Tom Wheels is not an historical figure.
Don't tell them that.
Dude. Oh my God, I'm so mad at you right now because you had me Googling that name like left and right. I even went to DuckDuckGo and I was like, who the hell is that?
Heisenberg, man. He's got you got a tongue-in-cheek kind of style of humor. It's funny because you can't see our faces. And if you listen to some of our earlier episodes when we're doing stuff, you can hear me asking him like, are you serious right now? Because I couldn't tell. He's joking, but he's just deadpan face and just saying stuff. And I'm like, he likes to fuck with people and he likes to pretend like he's not.
You know what?
Well, that's the other thing. While we're on this topic, if I could just say real fast for the record, I'm not actually an anti-Semite. If I could just say that out loud, everybody.
It's because it's come out like on like a bunch of episodes.
No, I remember in the middle of one episode, you were like, bro, these people don't know you. They don't know that you're joking about the Holocaust.
I had to put a disclaimer out there that like, He puts out the extreme jokes that sound awful, which in itself can still be bad. But if you know that he's just trying to play into that, it's kind of like the whole making fun of the people that are that way,
right?
And pushing the extreme to act that way. But nobody knows you're acting if you say deadpan.
Well, but I'm an asshole and I'm just trying to be abrasive, but or subversive anyway. But no, I don't have any weird racial feelings in real life. I just like to be an asshole if I can get away with it.
No, it's all right. I mean, at first I was like, damn, this guy's edgy. But then, for my type of comedy, I guess Heisenberg, I'm with him in that regard. That's my type of comedy. So I guess that's why I find it really, really where I can put you guys in a place where like I said, I put you above Joe Rogan.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
that's super flattering.
No, it's real though.
Put us above Dan Carl. What's his name? Dan.
Yeah, no, I didn't even subscribe to that podcast, to be honest.
Yeah.
What is it? Oh, Hardcore History, right? With
Yeah,
Dan.
and on top of that, you have to pay for that one for his
Yeah, you got to
thing.
pay for that, man. I paid for like his whole World War II epic, and I just didn't retain a ton of the shit he said. Like he's so
Really?
flat. It's
See?
so much goddamn info, and he's a great guy, but yeah, I prefer our approach.
So,
I
what
agree.
podcasts do you like to listen to when like outside of People Time? Do you have other ones that you're like your favorite ones?
Yeah, I got Bad Friends. You know that one?
Well, I haven't heard that. I gotta check them out though. I'll check out some of these ones that you dropped down.
That's Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah, okay.
Flavor Fragrant too. You know who that one is? That's Andrew Schultz.
Andrew Schultz. Andrew Schultz is from.
It's a new comedian. It's not new, but he during the pandemic, that's when he blew up.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna check him out too.
He had his TikToks. I think it was TikToks or Reels. That he would start talking about it until you turn your phone around, and then he would give you a whole video sideways and make a whole explanation of current events that were happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
is he
might
one of
actually
those
seen some.
like one of those comedians that blew up during
the pandemic.
quarantine because we were all
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I found Blair Erskine during that time, and like a bunch of people. Nick Lutzko.
Yeah.
It was a,
Well,
it was a
what got
bizarre
you
time.
into podcasting? Because you well, and you used to have a co-host, right? Didn't you have some Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Our goals were not aligning at all whatsoever.
that happens.
So I told him, hey, like, you know, you're off the hook. So do your thing, and if you ever want to come back, well, let's do it again. And,
Cool.
and I just kept it going by myself, just like grabbing like I did with you guys. Hey, do you want to come on my podcast? Like content creators and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there came a point, and I'm still there, where I guess I'm not sending enough messages or finding enough people where I'm like, fuck, I don't have anybody to talk to. I'll just go talk shit or just go complain about something. And that's how I keep it running right now. But
Hell yeah, dude.
yeah. But we're really go ahead.
That's
What got
actually
you
a
started?
That's a pod. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, dude.
I was actually gonna say that's like a podcast idea I wanted to throw at Daddy Pants at some point, like maybe like where we can have a podcast that just reviews other podcasts and interviews other podcasts about podcasting. Just because I think the whole thing is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But
That's
we're
the
currently
idea.
on hiatus, and
Yeah.
what it is.
That's great. Yeah, that was the idea. Like just because when I wanted to start the podcast, this was like back. We're talking about 2016. I didn't know anything about our RSS feed. I didn't know absolutely anything other than just upload something on Instagram, and you know you'll get a lot of likes. But it wasn't working out that way. So you know you have to learn whatever else that comes with it that I've learned so far. But I still have a long way to go because my downloads are not as good as as I want them to be, I should say, because I know I'm not great at this yet, but I know that along the way that if I keep doing it, I'll get better at it. And so I'm just banking my success on that I'll get better at it as I do it.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, and that's I think how it is for everybody. At least if you have no background in anything that would be related to podcasting. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you listen to our first maybe 10, 20 episodes, our podcast formed into what it is now because of a lot of adjustments where, for instance, Heisenberg was kind of more pushing for comedy style and kind of loose and relaxed, where I was kind of more straight laced and being like, all right, you said that joke, that's really great, but now let me get on with the story. And it was just really dull from my side, and then his, you know, he helped actually kind of change that as I loosened up, and then we start and then you learn all the other weird stuff about, you know, online presence and trying to get your podcast out there. It's always steps like that. And you know, even now I don't think we're necessarily great at it or anything. We also aren't really going for a goal of trying to get a certain amount of listenerships or any kind of thing. So we're even more relaxed with that kind of shit.
That was what was important to me at the outset of the program, was to not think of it being monetized at any point. Like just make it a hobby between two friends. Like, so that way that we do it when we feel like it. We do it the way we feel like it. We just throw it in the void and see what happens.
Right.
And,
Which there's nothing wrong with monetizing or wanting to hit
no,
those goals.
if you
It
want
was
to,
just for
if you want
us.
to,
Right.
yeah, like if you can do that shit, that's badass. Like if you can make it a career, but that wasn't a goal anyway.
You asked earlier what podcast I listened to. I also listened to Your Mom's House. You've heard of it?
Oh yeah, I've heard that one. Yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
that's another one of my favorites too. But that one, I want to do something exactly like that. What they've done. You know how they have other podcasts within their podcast. So that's what I want to do. So I can have all kinds of content just being thrown out there. Just just to get my name out there, or just to do something. Because like you said earlier,
what podcast is that?
Your Mom's House.
Oh yeah, Your Mom's House. Fucking A. That's probably my favorite podcast right now.
Oh yeah.
That and I was really into Last Podcast on the Left for a long time, and they do the same thing. It's like a whole fucking network.
What was the podcast?
And that's Last Podcast on the Left.
Huh. I haven't heard.
If you dig us, you would dig them. They do very long form topics that are mostly like paranormal or serial killers or creepy shit, but their humor is up our alley. I mean, they're professional comedians though, but
yeah, they're probably funnier than we are.
But that's what makes
no one's
you guys
funny.
I agree. But that's what makes you guys great though, because you guys are amateurs, and and I personally think you guys are great. But yeah,
thanks.
And I keep saying that.
Well, you've had you had like Rolando Molina on one of your episodes. I was watching that one.
Rolando Molina, refresh my memory. I'm telling you, I have a bad memory.
He was an actor. He's in like a bunch of movies and
Baby
stuff.
Joker, yes.
Yes, Baby Joker, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, that's kind of a big deal. I can't imagine us as like People Time being like, let's get in an actor or someone who's even like a historian. I can only imagine if we were reaching out and be like, we're this little podcast. But yeah, I thought it was really cool. You actually have some people on here that are awesome. You got some TikTokers and stuff that are actually big and famous. But yeah, when I saw Rolando, I was like, that's awesome, dude. Yeah. This guy's killing it.
I even had a guy that his name is Ethan. He goes by the Rockman. So basically I don't know what they're called. People that study rocks and crystals and stuff like that.
Like geologists?
Yes, he's a geologist. I've had a geologist on with me here, just talking to them too.
That's awesome.
I want to say I had a biologist and a physicist as well. Just talking. But that's how I find him. I go on TikTok and I'm like, oh, this person seems interesting. Like let me look at more of their content, see what they're doing, and I go through it, and then I find out and I send them a message. Like I figure out that the easiest way to get through somebody is just if they have an Instagram, it'll be a lot easier than through TikTok, because they get a lot more messages through Instagram, through TikTok, and they get lost. So especially if they're like already popping, it's hard to get through them through there. But Instagram, it seems a lot easier to get through people. That's
smart.
That's a little something that I've learned. And it's been working, but like I said, I haven't been sending much messages out there. And also, my biggest mistake with all this is I don't really follow up with anybody, and I think that's what's not helping me.
Hey, you're talking to some of the laziest guys here when it comes to podcasting, because we started off really strong, of course, when we had an episode every single week, and that went on for over a year, and then we went to every other week, and that's also mostly my fault. And I slowly started kind of being like, I need more time. I can't be researching constantly every day. I gotta have a break in between. But for us, that's the weird thing about podcasting. I don't think a lot of people know before they get into podcasting is actually just how much work goes into it and how much, you're doing outside of the podcast. Yeah, you record for, an hour or however long you want your podcast to be, but there's editing, there's going on to, every platform that exists to be able to try to push out, hey, this is what our podcast is about. If that's something that interests you should give it a listen. Trying to reach out to other people to be like, come onto my podcast. Let's go onto your podcast. Let's do there's hours and hours that just are unseen, for the normal listener that they don't know about. But following up and stuff, I wouldn't be able to do it. We've had one podcast we've kind of done a bunch of collabs with.
Knackers.
And luckily, Knackers and the Breeze. And luckily, they were really good about reaching back out to us and being like, let's do another episode. And I'm like, hell yeah, let's do another episode. But
Ryan's the fucking man, though. So
All
Yeah,
right.
Ryan just works out with us. But
Awesome.
honestly, the only reason that we didn't collaborate with Ryan more is because of the 8 hour difference that he lives in England.
Mm.
Otherwise, yeah, we'd probably do something with him on the reg.
Yeah, yeah. Because
Yeah.
the last one I heard from you and them, I don't remember which one it was, but damn, I lost my train of thought. Jesus Christ, that's not
You're
good.
good. No, you're fine.
What
Yeah.
was I
Well, there's
saying?
also we
The
also
last one,
collaborated briefly with Velosa podcast.
the Lost the
Oh,
podcast.
oh,
Yeah.
That
no,
guy's
yeah, that's
terrible.
exactly what we were talking about. My bad, Jesus, I went blank. I was trying to say that last time I heard you guys and the Knackers and the Breeze together, I thought you guys had a great chemistry, and I was like, are they sitting in the same room or are they doing this through Zoom or what? Because it sounded good.
Yeah.
Were you guys through Zoom or?
Zoom,
On
they're in
Zoom.
England,
Of
so we have to
course.
actually get up, and we normally do our episodes recording at least like late in the evening, late in the night. That's just kind of our normal routine after work or whatever. But with Knackers, because they're in London, we have to get up and do an episode like earlier in the morning because it's later in the evening for
Yeah.
them.
You gotta
But
accommodate,
yeah,
right? Yeah, to make it more easier for both of you. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
I know you guys say you guys are in hiatus right now, but are you guys recording still, or you guys are just like holding off for now?
Well, so right now, I mean, I don't know how much you want to talk about this, Heisenberg. I was gonna
The
say,
oh,
right
I'm
now
fine with
we've
it.
talked about of getting back up and at least reviewing if we want to do another episode soon or if we need to wait for a little bit longer. I think, at least speaking for myself, one of the reasons why we went on the hiatus was one, I kind of was dealing with a little bit of depression and had to kind of like figure myself out. So I told Heisenberg, I was like, give me like a couple months. I need to chill
And
for a little bit.
Right,
And
right.
yeah,
then
self
on top
care
of
is
that,
fucking
yes,
important.
yeah, exactly. And it's not
Of
something I
course.
normally deal with. And so I feel like I don't think it's ever easy for anybody, of course. But I feel also a little bit unintelligent when it comes to mental health care. I just
Mm.
don't know that much about it. So,
Right.
making sure you deal with it in the right way. And the way I could think of was like, okay, I need to push everything back. Then after that, it just kind of become a few different things. I changed jobs, which required me training and learning a whole bunch. So it kind of kept going to the point where like, okay, we can chill for even a little bit longer. When we're both ready, we'll put together an episode and do so. And we've talked about it a few times pretty recently, and we've kind of let a few people know, hey, we're thinking about it, and we're just making sure we're both in a good place. So that way,
Mm-hmm.
when we do start up again, it's strong and it's not going to be this kind of trickling, here's an episode, and then 6 months later, here's another episode. So we want to make sure we're
Well,
good.
and the thing that was surprising is that during the hiatus, how many messages we've gotten from dabblers saying, "Where'd you go?" And so we didn't anticipate that anybody would give a fuck. So
It's
knowing that there
actually,
are people that listen, like, and remembering that doing it is a hell of a lot of fun, like, yeah, we have soft plans to pick it back up. Like, I'm going through some personal issues as well, so there's just like a lack of incentive. I spend too many days having beer for dinner to really sit down and read a book.
It
yeah,
happens. It happens.
But it's coming back. It's coming back.
it
Yeah,
is. I
our
mean, I'm
that's the
sorry, dude. I
plan.
didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's it. We'll
Oh,
make it.
I was gonna say, it is pretty neat because we're not a big podcast by any means, but I mean, since we dropped our last episode, we're still getting, 2,000 and 3,000 listens a month, which I was like,
Wow.
who's listening to us when we're not even putting out new episodes. But on top of that, you kind of see those numbers and like you're like, cool, those are listens. But until you start getting like those messages, they're like, where are you? Where's the next episode? What's going on? And you're like, oh, people actually, enjoy it to
Yeah.
Yeah,
some degree. That's pretty
and we
cool.
we got a message from a guy who English was not his first language, and his name sounded Eastern European. And I was like, who the fuck are these people stumbling on this dumb fuck podcast?
Yeah, we're from
Who
Utah,
then
Salt Lake City. Like, who's listening to this anywhere?
we're fucking uneducated mountain people. Like, who the hell are you people?
Hey,
What do you want from me?
I know, and that's why I kind of kept pushing at it because I was thinking like he's probably thinking I'm a bot and I'm trying to get something out of this or something, I don't know.
Oh no, yeah, I thought you were about it first, but then I I mean, if I could be totally honest, I was pretty faded, and I just fuck with people. But then also, like, I wanted to know, like, well, maybe this dude, like, if he's just trying to hit up random podcast creators for his own content, like, I'm not down for that. Like, I want to know he's actually a fan. which is why I was kind of an
Really?
asshole about my.
See,
What?
that's what I got.
Mean, Heisenberg.
That's what I
I
got.
know, right? I'm not helping somebody who's not a dabbler. Everyone else on earth can kiss my ass.
No, well,
The
like I
dabbler
said,
army is
I'm
the
a
only thing that
fan,
matters.
dude. I'm a fan. I'm all in. I listen to
That's
you guys
so cool.
because like I said, the only place I get to really listen podcasts is when I'm at work, and that's from like 5 in the morning to 3, 4 in the afternoon, or maybe 5, wherever time I get back home, and that's the time I used to listen to podcasts. And you know, there's times where you're like, all right, I'm over this, and I want to listen to something else. So I'll go back to my other schedule, which is like I mentioned, Your Mom's House, Bad Friends, and all those. But my go-to in the morning, it's just like, all right, history. I want to listen to something smart today, something smart and funny, and a dick joke in the way too.
Hell yeah.
Hella dick jokes, man.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's the whole goal, man. If we can educate ourselves and a small handful of other people while giggling, like, fuck, that's the shit.
Oh,
And
it
if
is.
only the dabblers knew how much dick jokes that we actually edit out, because it's a lot more. What you're hearing is about 10% of what comes out in the actual recording.
Oh yeah.
I figure you don't want to be one of those that just because you said the wrong thing, they that's it, you're done. That's it. Have you been paying
Right.
attention to Andrew Tate, the Andrew Tate debauchery?
No, what's going on with that?
Oh,
Tate.
Andrew Tate, they took away everything from him. We're even talking about his because they call him misogynist, I guess. You know what? He
TikTok?
he has strong opinions about being a man and how do I put this without sounding like him? About being a man and just taking care of per se. He puts it this way: taking care of your woman and your family and stuff like that. But I guess most
Okay.
people take him as a misogynist, and he does
Yeah.
come off that way. But
It's a thin line, man.
yeah, but he's right. And
Yeah.
but what I found most amusing is that, you know, when he got canceled, they took his Instagram, YouTube, everything, and they took. And we're talking about even his Uber account.
His Uber account?
Yes, that's. And they closed his bank
You're not allowed
accounts.
to ride.
Yeah, they
God forbid.
So you know, I
You drive
worry.
yourself.
Drive yourself, you misogynist.
Yeah, you know what? But at the end of the day, you know, there's a line that you gotta. If we as content creators, we understand that there's a line that you gotta walk it really careful.
I don't know, man. That's kind of the thing with Daddy Pants and I is we don't really
Daddy
censor ourselves
Bones.
that
How do you
much.
not know my
Daddy
name?
Bones.
You've known me for so long. Daddy
Sorry,
Bones.
sorry. I
You
think I just
gave
like
me
heard
the
about
name.
Daddy Pants. We don't really censor ourselves, just in the sense that, like, our audience is not big enough to give a fuck. Like, who would even give a shit to cancel us? We don't even have a Twitter, I don't think.
We have
Or
a
if we do,
Twitter.
we don't up. Do we update it?
But you
Yeah,
you
but
say
it's
that.
it's meh.
But let me tell you
But then at the
this.
same time, like, we're not saying anything. Like, so Andrew Tate, if his thing is like, if he has a social philosophy or a self-help approach, he could affect people's lives. Like, not that we say is going to fuck with anybody. So it's like, I'll say as many Holocaust jokes and dick jokes as I feel like, because I ain't hurting anybody.
Yeah, but I think for like normal podcasters who want to get a little bit bigger, it wouldn't be a great thing to be able to go back to episode 2 and be like, aha, he said such and such.
Oh,
right?
but there was a moment I remember in one of our episodes where I don't remember what the context was, but we were talking about cops, and this was during Black Lives Matter.
Right.
And you and I kind of both looked at each other like, should we be honest? And then we both just said ACAB, and then just moved on.
Yeah.
Didn't get too much into it.
We have edited out a few things every once in a while that I don't think necessarily would get us in trouble, but they are like, we're pretty opinionated as it is in our episodes. Like I think people can listen to our episodes and even though we're not super trying to, they're probably leaning to the left. At the very least, they can probably figure that much out.
We got a review on Apple that called us out for that. Like,
yeah.
What?
Oh my God, that's my favorite review.
They run their mouths about Trump.
No, what was the other one that they really liked the content, but that we're obviously liberal or something like that.
Something like, yeah, we get a lot of that bullshit.
It's like, what does it matter in this case? It's a history podcast. He's talking about it,
Right?
but people
Right?
that
And
had an
honestly, like
impact.
leftists are a part of history, man. Deal with it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. Like,
Sacco and Vanzetti.
like I said, I don't want to
Okay.
sound like him, but basically, he's telling dudes to stop being bitches. That's basically what he's saying.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. As
I can
the
agree,
alpha
I can agree
male.
with that.
yeah, I said, like I said,
Well,
I signed up for that, but you know, you got to show emotion. I don't know, but yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
As a beta male, I can't comment on that. I'm a beta and a feminist and a cuck, as far as
Hey,
from what I've been told.
shit happens when you party naked.
Yeah.
But you know what? If everybody's naked, we all cucks. It's
Yeah?
a cucking party.
Yeah.
I can sign up to
It's a
that.
mother cucking party.
That's a mother.
I think it's called an orgy, but yeah.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say
everybody's got a
something,
different
but I slipped my mind. I should have wrote it down. You mentioned Mansa Musa earlier, right? What's it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that episode, that's the first time I ever, because you know I heard it on Joe Rogan that there was a book about another guy that came to the Americas like 500 years before Christopher Columbus, right? But
yeah.
that's as far as I had heard, and I knew. I didn't do my research or anything. But when you guys were talking about him, that he came like in the 500s or something like that, was it the 500s?
Yeah. Mansa Musa was the
so
1200s.
Okay, 1200, right?
We talked about both Mansa Musa and Eric the Red, and they both had relatives like roughly around the same time, like 1100s and 1200s, who came over. Like Eric the Red's kids came over to like up Canada, like Nova Scotia, and then Mansa Musa's uncle, as far as people can tell, landed somewhere near Brazil.
You're
Yeah.
right. And you know what? Lately, I've been seeing videos that they've been finding those rocks. What the hell are they called? The ones that have the face, the rocks.
Monoliths?
Yes, those.
Yeah.
They've been finding those that have features of African features, and I'm like, well, of course it makes
Yeah.
sense. Like,
Well, you're talking about the Olmec heads.
right.
They
That's
look
it.
like you could say it's like a run of the mill human baby whose face is squished, or you could say it looks vaguely African. I don't know. The comparison feels racist when I say it out loud. But
Sounds racist when you say it out loud.
Comparison. Oh God! Cut that! The comparison is no, don't cut shit for me. Yeah, but I've heard the comparison that there's some sense that because they don't know, like the Olmec culture is so unknown, like it's so it's even pre-Maya that there's no cultural context for who the fuck carved the things, and so there's some sense of like, hey, maybe there's some fucking Africans. Why not?
Well,
Facial features, and why not?
it makes sense if they were here earlier around that time, you know, because
Yeah.
obviously this wasn't. It was already discovered. They just rediscovered it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
but
mean, the biggest evidence I found was that there's gold in Brazil that has composites that like what's the word, like they're made out of gold that comes from Africa. Basically, like you can tell the difference between gold that was pulled out of the ground in South America versus Africa, at least subtly. They're atomically subtly different. So there's some indication that Brazilian gold, some that was being traded, is actually from Africa. So like, well, how the fuck did it get here?
It seems like every day
It's
there's
so
more and
early.
more evidence that, yeah, there's people that were from Africa that came over to the Americas well before Columbus. We also talked about, yeah, like you were saying, Eric the Red. So we got Vikings and stuff that it's, I don't know if they have it definitively, but they're like, we're pretty sure they came over and at least stayed for some while. Not to mention there were already people here, like in the Americas. Like it wasn't discovered. It was just,
Yeah.
That's why I said
Also,
rediscovered.
Is it
yeah,
discovered
exactly.
if I walk into a neighborhood I've never been and I jump over a fence and there's a swing set? I'm like, I've discovered children
Yeah.
live here.
You can say that.
Like,
Depends if they chase you out with bow and arrows, like they did in that.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
If I just pull out a pistol and kill the whole family, then it's my narrative.
Well, there you own it now.
I
I think that's
discovered
exactly
that house.
how it worked. I think that's exactly what happened.
I've discovered this neighborhood.
Good
If someone
old
walks up to you
times.
while you're screaming, I discovered it, and you're like, okay, I'll just kill that guy. Okay, now I've discovered it because no one can say otherwise.
Nobody saw me take it.
How do I get
Yeah.
my hands on
No
smallpox
witnesses.
blankets and get the whole neighborhood?
Right?
Yeah, it's
Do you think they
terrible.
did that on purpose or they didn't know?
I've heard both. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There was some note or some letter that was found that was stated that it was done on purpose. However, the thing is that I think after more research was done on, or at least more evidence was found, that it wasn't quite as like we think that it might have been like thousands of people were hit with smallpox because of it, but it's probably a lot less. But whatever amount it was, it does seem like it was on purpose because they found this letter that was like, yeah, these guys can get sick from the stuff that we can't get sick from. So just give them a bunch of our beddings and let them get sick.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because there is.
Well, like,
go ahead.
To toot our own horn again. If you remember from the Typhoid Mary episode, Typhoid Mary was in the 19th century.
Yeah.
They had no fucking idea what germs were. They thought that they were either bad smells or demons,
Right.
or just curses. So like way back in the day, they wouldn't have any fucking idea that you could spread smallpox on a blanket, other than just that they're like, well, when I give this blanket to an indigenous person, they fucking die. So let's
Start
keep
giving
doing
blankets out. Yeah, exactly.
Trial and error.
I want their shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
are we excited about today or not? Anybody anybody today that you're like, I'm gonna do a people time in history when that person dies in like 10, 20 years?
Oh boy. Yeah. There's been a few people that
I
I'm
mean,
like, what do you think, Eisenberg?
always. I mean, yeah, Queen Elizabeth, who just went.
We should bring
I
people
would
time
love to
back
do,
with that.
I would do Elon Musk just because I want him to be dead.
All right. I know. Ever since I started listening to your podcast, I know you have beef with Elon Musk. Let's hear it. I want to know more.
Go
He's
ahead,
a
Eisenberg.
super villain. He's a super villain. The guy's a jackass and an asshole. Like when people talk about genius, like Steve Jobs,
Okay.
like there's Leonardo genius, where your brain is full of creative ideas that other people just don't have the connections to put together. Like Einstein, nobody would have thought that creatively while having the mathematical genius.
Right.
Steve Jobs and Elon Musk are just egotistical narcissists who are good at math, and they're fucking jackasses. And I think that placing your ego as like the defining engine into like a company and treating people like trash because the end of the game is your ego, fuck you. That's not like, I'm not even that, like, I'm a leftist, but I'm not down for socialism so much. I believe in capitalism. Don't make capitalism about you, bro. It's about the community. I don't give a fuck, Elon, if you want Twitter or not, or if you want to go to Mars, you stupid asshole. Just make money, make all of us money, and then shut your goddamn mouth.
And that right there is the hate for Elon Musk.
There you go.
Hey, but
There
can
you
we
go.
talk about the innovation though?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much is actually equated to some of these people who own these businesses, and it might be so I won't say one way or the other. I imagine they have a lot of great minds around them, and it very well may be that Elon Musk has a great mind. I remember when those guys got stuck in the cave, the kids and the guy. It was down, I think,
Soccer
in
team?
Was it a soccer team?
yeah, the soccer team.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are trying to find out ways of how to get to them safely and then get them out, because really the only way they had was scuba diving, and it was a dangerous way of going about it. But Elon was actually trying to throw out a bunch of ideas, and I don't know if they were all his. I assume they are. He's the one who was tweeting them, but some of them were not that bad, even though they seemed maybe a little bit far-fetched to start with. Like, I think he talked about like a one-man submarine, and the reason why that one didn't work very well is because it's too tight in some places. But that would be a good idea in other
don't you think-
scenarios.
But if
that's
it's
a good
how
example
many kids
of
were
why
there?
he's a jackass.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How many
go ahead.
kids?
I
Was
remember
that
there was
jackass?
like 30 or so, wasn't there? Or maybe 20 or so.
I thought it was like 12 or 13, but it's been a while
It
now.
might
So
it might actually be only like 13, but still, it's like a bunch of kids.
And
Yeah.
you said that the one-man submarine wouldn't work. Why?
Well, I guess the problem was is that a lot of the areas that the scuba divers had to go through were fine. They were wide
Well,
enough
you
for
have
them
to
to get
fucking
through.
build it. You have to fucking build it, Elon. You can't just throw ideas in the air. We're talking
Well-
about saving
Well, I thought it
children's
was.
lives.
I thought it was because there was 12 people, not one. Because you said a one man. So
Yeah,
you have
we'd
to
have
go
to,
in
like-
12 times to get everybody.
Yeah. Well, and that's what essentially
Well,
what they
that-
ended up having to do with
that
the
too.
scuba divers.
Well,
They had to
but-
go in and,
I thought it was
put
being
like,
funny.
the scuba gear on
They had to
them.
like sedate them and very gently, guide them through the rocks.
I thought it
But
was.
this
being
is my
funny.
point about Elon.
Uh-huh.
What kind of fucking ego on a guy who doesn't know dick about scuba diving to throw ideas into the world? Let specialists who understand how scuba diving works solve this. Shut the
He
fuck
also
up,
threw
Elon.
he also threw money at it as well to help out. Now, granted, I'm not defending
Great.
Elon Musk or picking sides. I'm just giving all sides of view, and I'm not a fan of Elon either. But he did throw money at it to try to help. I think they were talking about drilling and getting in drill rigs.
what is money to a billionaire, man? It's
Oh, yeah,
just
it was nothing to
it's
him.
it's social
Opportunity.
credit.
It's opportunity.
Yeah.
Social credit.
Exactly. He gets himself some clout.
Yeah, he can
isn't it
go on Twitter and say,
opportunity?
"Hey, I don't
Yeah.
hate kids."
He doesn't hate kids. He got 9 with how many different women?
I think
Yeah.
9.
Something like
Yeah.
that.
How's that guy?
I don't
got
know
a
if I would
lot.
consider. I don't know if I would consider Grimes a woman. Maybe an extraterrestrial of some
But
kind.
she's able to
Grimes.
bear children.
I
No, I'm
don't know.
just
She
kidding.
hasn't
He
been
got
genetically
you there,
modified.
Heisenberg.
Don't know if she hasn't
Oh.
been genetically modified.
Hey, we got CRISPR nowadays, right?
Oh,
Mhm.
dude. Oh, I can't wait for that to be like a thing. I won't have to
Right?
be this pale skin anymore, maybe they can give me some actual, like, some tanner skin that looks nice.
So,
Oh,
is,
man.
so
That might
this is
be-
not a filter, what I'm looking at?
Yeah, no, this is what this is not just a sensor. This is my
Okay.
actual skin color, how white this is.
I know.
He's
you're-
actually that pale.
Might as well be. Jesus Christ. I can't go out in the sun either. I can't even try to like go and get a little bit of color because I had melanoma, which is skin cancer from the
right.
sun. So if I go out and be like, I gotta not look like I'm pasty white, it doesn't matter. I have to stay inside. I have to go get fake tans or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? Now that you said you had melanoma, you said you had.
Yeah.
Well, excuse me.
Yeah.
That's when I got scared about people time, because when I didn't see you guys posting anymore, I came across one of your episodes where you briefly touched that subject,
Yeah.
and I was like,
Oh, that he had
no,
cancer, yeah.
don't tell
Daddy
me.
Bones has got cancer.
Yeah, that's where my brain went, and then my brain was like, nah, he sounds all right in the rest of the episodes, and then I was like, the government got to him.
I was thinking about for when we do a return, it was gonna be a thing about how we've been fighting off the government, but they've been trying to come shut us down.
They've been trying to get us.
Well,
Passing around some ideas.
well, when Heisenberg was telling me that you guys have that the bunker something was attacked, I was like, oh
By the
shit.
popple.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is, but I was like, oh shit, they did get to them.
Yeah.
You have to be as old and nerdy as I am to know what a popple is. But the joke was that there was a competing podcast called Popple Time.
Popple time. This is from an
And
old
we-
episode of
And we
ours. that
and we went to
It's-
war with them. Dude, I remember. So
my sensor
yeah,
goes
I
off.
like the absurdity
I'll
of
fix
the
it, don't
comedy
worry
that
about
we
it.
do. But
Good.
at one point, one episode, I recorded a voicemail from a popple threatening us.
What?
And I was just using like a voice modulator to sound like a cartoon character. But my wife, my ex-wife now, caught me. I was just recording on my phone like, I'm gonna get you and I'm gonna burn down your bunker and the podcast sucks and I'm gonna cut your heads off.
And
and
his
she
wife
was like-
walks in.
She was like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, it's a
Huh?
thing for my podcast. I think. I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
wait, so you guys had a beef? You guys have had a beef with other podcasts already? Then that's great. Jeez.
Well, it's a fictional podcast, but
And
we
made
do
it
have
up.
fake beef with Veloci podcast.
Well, you do, because it was the whole purpose was that, we were going to kind of make it a thing between us. So I'm not sure if you've heard of Veloci podcast. We had him on briefly for one of our episodes. It's kind of a shorter, not a full length episode that he was on. but he's really cool dude. And Heisenberg, I don't know, you kind of get into your thing, and like the second he met Philosophy Podcast, he was like, I don't like it. But then, of course, he listened to more of it. And he's like, okay, I like it. But he already said that he didn't like it, so he kind of was like, well, let's make it a thing where I have a
I
problem with.
So you made
I
the
gotta.
defense.
Well, I like fighting with people. Like I just like to pick arguments, and the guy seemed like he had a personality that was similar. So I was like, I'm just gonna poke at him
Just like,
and see if we can
Yeah.
make this fun.
So while they're fighting, and I'm over there being like, so in history today.
And he and I are just constantly talking shit on each other the whole time. Like
I don't
know
have a
which
memory
episode
of that
even is.
episode. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, it's probably a long
I
time
have no
ago.
idea.
Okay,
It was
Several years.
this is what I wanted to ask you at the beginning. When did you guys start? Like just people time. When did people's time start?
oh man, ages ago now. How many years has it been now?
Is it 18
Gotta
or
be like-
Oh
17?
man, 2018, 2019 maybe.
Yeah, I
18.
think.
It's not crazy.
Now, but before that, you guys were doing the other comedy one that you guys were talking about at first, right?
Right. That one, and we never released any episodes. I still have them, I think, somewhere, where we've got maybe 4 or 5 episodes of just this really bizarre comedy style of history.
Well,
That's really for
we have,
history's
like,
sake.
on a hard drive somewhere, I have shit of us just like we played with a Ouija board one night.
What?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
We did a whole episode on like it was like snack food reviews. Like we were really just throwing shit at the wall
Yeah.
to try and make a podcast.
Okay, well, let me Ouija board. You said right. Tell me your
Yeah.
experience, because I've experienced it, and I've experienced
Fucking
it.
lame. Well,
So-
I mean, so the
Go
incentive
ahead,
here, I'll just say, you should tell the story, but the incentive is that, because this is actually a thing I wanted to explore with Daddy Bones, because I am a paranormal believer. I believe in that shit,
Okay.
basically all of it, and he doesn't believe in it at all. So the goal was, let's fuck with a Ouija board and see which one of us gets more fucked up.
That's kind of like a little bit of our conflict on our podcast is that, which is great. I think, we have kind of different viewpoints for a lot of different things. And one of the things he likes ghosts and UFOs and Bigfoot. And I'm like, that's all horse shit. It's fine. I don't mind if people believe, or I don't like get upset about it, but it's funny to tell him it's horse shit because we have different belief systems.
Of course.
So we were going to do a Ouija board, and I was like, Ouija board, we're going to get a piece of cardboard and we're going to do this. And he's like, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen, bro. And I was like, nothing's going to happen. So we recorded it. We put down we started recording. We stuck it on the chip, and I sat there and was like, okay, now what? And we sat there for about 5-10 minutes. We called on everybody.
Oh, no.
The
You
Beelzebub. Oh, go ahead.
You looked up online what you're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
and
You did
immediately
everything
that.
you're not
Where
supposed
I did all of them.
You're not supposed to immediately call out.
Who the fuck's
I think
here?
his name is Pazuzu, I think, or
Yeah.
Zozo,
There was so many.
the demon.
Like, there was-
And then you're not supposed to like count down backwards, and like you immediately like, all right, I'm calling Zozo. Get here, Pazuzu. Come
Yeah.
possess me.
Yeah.
And
Take
I was
over my
like, I
body.
was like, fuck.
If I was smarter and more funny, I would have just all of a sudden like looked at you and like and just started like going after you.
Oh,
like,
he would have fell
shit.
for it. He would have gone for it.
in that
Yeah.
moment, probably, yeah.
You know what? I've experienced it, and I come from a really Catholic family. Really
how was that?
Catholic. It's bullshit.
What was your experience like?
It's bullshit.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
We played. We had candles, lights off, everything. No cameras, but this was when I was like about 17. Everybody. It was like 4 or 5 of us, like sitting in a circle. We all put our hands. Nothing. Questions. Nothing. So my conclusion is it's bullshit. Now,
Yeah.
it's not to say that I don't believe in ghosts.
Sure.
But there might be something to it. Some type of energy that we probably don't recognize yet. I don't know. That's what I think.
Hey, man,
go ahead.
That's Heisenberg.
That's exactly where I'm at. Yeah,
That's
that's exactly where I'm
Heisenberg.
at. I think there's just like a version of reality that we're not programmed to interact with 100%. So I think there's something to it, but I don't know if the Ouija board is always the best medium.
Right. And you
Like,
know what?
it seems dramatized.
And having that thought that there might be another parallel universe that, interacts with ours scares the shit out of me. Because I've jerked off by myself so many times, and I wonder if there's somebody watching me.
Someone just sitting next to you, just like,
or how many of these fucking people owe you money
Exactly.
for the show?
And I'm not. Look, I'm not even gonna go far. Last week I was sitting in here, taking notes, doing what I normally do, and I put my pen down, and I could not find it for the life of me until I grabbed another pen from my little cup over here. I picked it up, started writing. I look up, and guess what was in front of me? The fucking pen.
They're fucking with you.
So you either have goblins or really good weed.
I'm gonna go with the weed.
Can it be both? Can it be goblins?
Can it be both?
Yeah.
It might be. I don't know.
He's high right now. He won't notice if we take this and put it back. This is perfect.
I think it was the weed. Now that you mentioned that. Okay, UFOs. Daddy Bones first. Okay, Daddy Bones. UFOs. What's your thought?
So my whole thing is when it comes to any kind of extraterrestrial life or anything like that, I believe there's a possibility that life exists out in the universe because it's so vast. There's got to be a possibility. However, as far as UFOs go and aliens on our planet, I'm not totally convinced. There is some stuff that I think is interesting, and like, if there was a little bit more there, I'd probably lean into believing it, but it's just not quite enough. But I know Heisenberg feels differently about it. So
Heisenberg?
Well, I think there's two takes here. The one that general people should do is just go listen to our episode on JL and Hynek.
Okay.
And then do some YouTube research, because we all know that's the greatest university on earth.
Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, that's not ridiculous at all. But I think that at this point, it's indisputable that there are UFOs, that they are
UAPs,
right? That there's something that has a transmedium ability without observable propulsion, and there's no goddamn indication that it's a foreign government. So it's something, and I won't go on the ledge and say that it, or make a speculation on what it is, but I do think that when we're talking about paranormal, I think there's other craziness types of things that I don't think should be just scoffed at right away because they're absurd. Like, I think life is fucking absurd. I think that's just the case. So, like, a great example of that is like, if anybody wants to like really blow your balls off, go read John Keel's Mothman Prophecies. Like, don't watch the Richard Gere movie. That movie sucks balls. The book is bonkers. Where it just sort of explores the relationship between the indication of UAPs and paranormal experiences and trans-dimensional identities. I know I sound like a crazy person now, but they can't lock me up for speaking.
Oh yeah.
How about you, Oscar?
I haven't blown up a mail office yet.
They heard you now. They might be coming.
Well, it's on your podcast, not ours.
And they don't know my fucking identity.
Yeah, they'll try to go through me, but I won't tell them. Don't worry.
Appreciate it.
That's all right. He's like, I'm a dabbler. I'm not gonna tell you shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I just listen to them.
What about you? Do you believe UFOs?
Okay, but first I wanted to say this about paranormal activity, like possessions and stuff like that. I believe my wife because she's told me a story that she witnessed herself, like craziness. You're talking about like voice change and everything. Okay, so that's why I'm in the position that I don't believe it, but I don't want to find out. That's where I'm at with the paranormal. Now, the UFOs, UAPs, whatever you want to call them. Maybe a couple months ago, I was all in. Yes, it definitely is entities from other planets. I was in. But I recently came across an article that talked about the director CEO of Marietta Martin. Do you know what that is?
No, what's that?
Like Lockheed Martin kind of thing?
Yeah, you got it. That's another company that's a cousin or brother company to Lockheed Martin. So, but the director of Marietta Martin said that we have the technology to take ET back home. Those were his words. Okay.
All right.
So, and also I think about Bob Lazar, his anti-gravity, the God particle that he talked about, and when they turned CERN on, everything, like, you know, they found it for sure that it was real. So now I think about that, but now my thought is, all right, there, like Daddy Bone said, there might be life outside of this planet because it's so vast, so many stars, so many planets. There's got to be some form of life. Yeah. Now, whether they've made it to us, I don't know. So now, getting back to Earth. Now, we don't know the history of the planet. We don't know how far technology went. So now, if at one point we got to a place where it was so advanced, where we control gravity and moved at the speed of light, now there might be an archaeological site where there's at least a small engine that works with that.
Like Bob Lazar claims to have worked on,
that's where I'm going with that. So now I'm at the point where I'm like, yes, there might be life outside this planet, but we don't know for sure. But what I do think I know, and keyword think I know, keywords, is that whatever this is, whatever those UFOs, the sightings that they're being seen out there, they're drones from our army, from the USA, from the military, right? And I think that because have you seen those drones that the competitions they do, that they put the headset on and they're just sitting in a chair and they fly the drone? Have you seen how those drones move? You mean to tell me they can't replicate that at a bigger model?
That's true.
I don't think so, no, but I can understand where you're coming from, yeah.
I don't know, man. They're zippy.
What about the F-22 that nobody knew, like back in, like, I don't even know what war was it, that nobody knew that they had it, and everybody was like, what is that, when it came out? You know? Mm-hmm. So now, and also, like, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I mean, the problem is that there's like a difference between how we have applied physics to what these devices can do. So like a drone from a certain distance away, so let's say it's night, so you can only see the light on it, you can't get perspective on how far away it is. So it can do some zippy, crazy shit where you're like, oh, if that's a 20-foot craft or whatever, that would be physically impossible. But because of perspective, you don't know the size of it. But there are crafts, and there are like videos of crafts that are visibly too large for their maneuverability for what they do. That there's no way it's a drone, because it's impossible compared to the physics as we understand it, and it moves freely in and out of water with the same propulsion. Sizes are insane. Like there's the only UFO experience I ever had was one of the like football field sized triangle things.
But that's what I'm saying. It's
gigantic. It's silent.
But check this out.
There's no way that our science, as we understand it, could make the fucker.
I don't remember the name of the aircraft, but there's like a new F something that Marietta Martin is working on as well that looks triangular, like the way you're describing right now.
Well, I know, like in the 80s and 90s, a lot of UFO experiences that were triangle shaped was actually the B bomber, the B-52 bomber, because they were designed to be silent. The fucker I saw was not the B-52.
I'm kidding. Sorry, go on.
It wasn't
rock
a rock.
Lobster.
Rock lobster.
Sorry, go on.
No, the thing I saw, dude, I swear to God, it was the size of like a football field, and it was silent and just enormous. No lights on it. It just blocked out this mountainside and the sky I saw, where I was like, that's not us.
Right.
There's just no way.
Can we
for me? Yeah, and to my, like, what the fuck do I know? That
I agree with you. What the fuck do I know as well? But I'm saying, like, can we take into consideration that anti-gravity engine that Bob Lazar allegedly was working on?
Hey
Yeah.
man, if if Bob is not a liar, which I go back and forth on, interesting story, and I have no fucking idea what it
Cool
means,
story,
but
bro, right?
exactly.
Well, and he's not the only one that's
Dude, that's
claimed
yeah.
anti-gravity kind of like machines or anything like that, right? Who was the other guy that was supposedly doing all sorts of crazy stuff and like people heard weird noises in his backyard and he was like levitating stuff in his backyard and he
Florida, right?
made that. We'll say it again.
It was it from Florida?
I
Yeah,
don't remember where it is now.
like that guy from like the Coral Castle guy.
That's the
Yeah,
one I'm
yeah,
thinking of.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
because there's been a couple people that have claimed, that anti-gravity is possible, and this guy who
Well,
like made his doors so they were like, I don't even remember, it was like on like a little tiny pyramid, but the door was like a couple tons, and it would swing on this little tiny like diamond pyramid like
the
smoothly. A child could push it open even though it was tons or whatever.
That's
yeah, that it's like
crazy.
the doors weigh like 2 tons, but like the
Yeah,
required pressure to open it is a couple pounds. Where
yeah,
I guess the idea is that whatever hinge he built for it is not normal.
yeah.
Mm.
Like
Like
I
it has
don't
like
know,
no
I just don't know enough
friction.
about
I don't know.
carpentry and physics to understand. But he claimed to
He said it
have
was like
harnessed some
anti-gravity
type
stuff though
of.
too, right?
You know
He
what I
said he used both like sound, like vibrations, and then he also
That's
claimed to use
right.
magnets, like
That's right.
magnetrons. And
That's right.
he said that from his research, it's how the Egyptians made the pyramids, and that all sounds bullshit to me. But it is also hard to disprove what he did. I don't
Right.
know.
You know what I think
It's
about
bizarre.
you know what I think about this whole thing, like the whole thing that we live on, like the life, the planet, and everything. I think that
Yeah.
it's like an etch a sketch. You know, because
Yeah.
you're done drawing your picture. Well, what are you gonna do with the picture? You can't do nothing other than erase it and start all over. I feel like that's
Yeah.
how this life is. Once humanity gets to a point where they pretty much discover just about everything that makes our life easier, it gets to a point where something happens that shakes that picture up and the
Yeah.
drawings got to get started again.
There's a theory about that, right? That like we've gotten this far and even further in our technology like 7 times over, but every single time like we either self-destruct because we are humans and that's what we do is we eventually just kill ourselves off, or the planet couldn't sustain, so it died and so did we, and then it like goes through the same cycles all over again of basically evolution building back up to humanity, and then we're like, cool, we got this technology, and then it just starts all over.
which is
I don't know if that's a common one, but I've heard that before.
which is where we are today. Would you say?
Yeah, I mean,
We're
I
right
think
there,
there was
man. We're on
a
the precipice.
can't remember which scientist it is. How do you say his name? Heisenberg, Michio Kaku.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
Michio
that.
Kaku.
He talks
Yeah.
about something similar in the sense that like essentially that we're just going through this rotation of one time we'll eventually get to the point where it's kind of more of a singularity and we're all like kind of unified because of how good our technology is and we'll push forward, but we've probably been here before, but we just keep on killing ourselves off, and eventually hopefully at one point we'll just get past that point. But yeah, I
It,
I
like
don't
how
know.
he's
I kind of fell off of that line of thinking only because I started thinking about surface metals. Like if the earlier iterations of us didn't fuck with metals like electronic metals, gold and silver and plutonium and shit,
Mhm.
then that would make sense. But like all of the ore that we find are natural deposits of ore. If there was another
broken
version
down
of
or
us, we would have, I guess, but I don't know how long it takes to like a whole city full of gold rings all melt
probably a
into the
billion
ground and look
years.
like a natural deposit. So, but the other thing is that like if it's true that we've had other iterations, then it's like they were thinking differently than we do, so their technology was different. So they didn't fuck with gold; they fucked with I don't even know. Obviously, it's not a thought we can have.
Is it
Like it's not.
Something
copper?
else.
Is it
It's
copper
not in
that
our
they use?
zeitgeist.
I want to say copper, right? 'Cause I know
Who
the
fucking
Egyptians use
knows?
copper, right?
Yeah.
Well, if we're talking about past ones, it would be something else, and unless there was some trace of it, and or it
Well,
broke down
that's
some way, right? It had to broken down over time. I don't
yeah, and
know.
I'm not a I'm not enough
Where
of a geologist to be able to tell you if surface metals
Right.
fall back into the earth like that naturally. I don't know,
I don't know.
but it would take billions of years. So I think that if there was an earlier version of us, they were fucking with a different type of technology than we fuck with. Because I think humans fall for that shit, like thought viruses, where you just everything works around you, so you live in that space. You don't really think out of the box.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But there's the likelihood that there could be other ways of thinking about technology.
Yeah.
Just
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I
we're just
wondered
not
too. It's
thinking
like,
about it.
yeah, because I think like even if the technology was really advanced in the past, why aren't we finding anything like an engine or a piece of metal that would look different to what we have today, or different
Yeah.
from what we know and understand, you know? But I mean, it's been such a
Well,
long
that
time that who knows what really happened. The Library of Alexandria, right? That burning set us back like what 1,000 years allegedly.
yeah, supposedly, yeah. And
As
then
far as like
we also have the weird
geometry and
stuff
shit,
like
yeah.
what you got the Baghdad battery. What was the thing they found out in the ocean that looked like a little machine that was dated like I don't even remember, like 5,000 BC or something. You remember that
Damn.
one?
Yeah, it's like that. It's like a Greek uh,
Wheel, what are they?
navigation device of some kind. Yeah, I can't remember the
But it
name.
was like
Oh,
cut
it
and
looked like a
made like it
compass,
looks.
right? It was a compass, something
Yeah,
like
but it
Yeah.
that.
looks like it's is it machine made looking, or is there something about it that makes it seem like it had to
Well,
have been
More
more modern?
they
advanced.
they said it
Yeah.
could be like if they understand how they think it works, it'd be like an early version of a computer because it could do like computations to tell you where the sun and moon and certain stars are, so you can navigate better.
Right.
So they're
Right.
like, how the fuck would they know how to do that? But obviously, if we found one, there's probably 1,000 at one point, like
Yeah.
5,000 years ago. You know.
Yeah.
Do you think archaeologists are taking into consideration that some areas that used to be above water are now underwater? Do you take? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do. They're smart enough to.
Yeah, Atlantis for sure. Everybody's really into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
sure there's actually probably we know of like real places that have now are under sea level or above sea level depending on where it's at. But yeah. I
but
don't know
Well,
like
about all.
have you heard of that
all the
river in Iraq that the drain the dried? I should say, is it Iraq or Afghanistan? One of those rivers that's allegedly written about it on the Bible, and it says that if it dries up, that there's 4 horsemen that were jailed under that river, and if that river dried up, those 4 horsemen would bring death upon the world when that river dries up. And
Oh,
also,
and it dried up.
yeah, it dried up, but it's on the Bible, right? But also,
well, that's
there's a
definitive.
yeah, right. There's a rock on one of those rivers that just dried up that it says, I'm paraphrasing, okay? That it says, if you
Says
see
you're
me,
fucked.
yeah, if you see me again, you're fucked, pretty much. Have you seen that? So
No, I haven't. I gotta look
No,
this up.
I haven't
That
heard of
sounds
that.
awesome.
No,
yeah, those
I have
things.
heard that like a lot of like older cities and statues of shit are coming out because of the
That's
rivers
exactly
and the
yeah.
ocean are drying up.
Yeah,
It's just
that's exactly
depressing.
what I'm talking about. Exactly. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes me think like, okay, if it was low at one point at this time and people wrote this over here, that means that at this point it was all fucked up. The world was
That's a
dry,
good
Yeah.
point.
changing.
That's true. Yeah, that maybe they fucked the planet too, and they left a warning.
But it gives me
But
a good idea to play a prank on future generations. I think we should make kind of like a headstone or something or a big rock
dude,
and carve something in and throw it in the ocean. And if it ever gets too
well,
low and
no,
someone's ah!
we can actually do this right now because I know probably people who aren't local to where Daddy Bones and I are. We're in Salt Lake City. Our
Okay.
a lot of the ecology of our valley is based around the Salt Lake, the Great Salt Lake, and it's
Okay.
it's fucking drying up as far as everybody can tell. Like
Yeah.
I've heard some specialists say that it's like technically quote unquote a dead lake, as in it's not recoverable. So all we got to do is get a fucked up piece of rock and say like, if this becomes uncovered, you all have AIDS, and just put it right
Yeah.
now where the center of the lake is. Give it
And
like
then
2 or
once
3
it's
years
dry, yeah.
Yeah. You know
and
what? You
make
know what that
everybody lose their
reminded me
shit.
of? You know what that
What's
reminded
that?
me of? You guys talked about it and I also heard something about it on another different podcast. But you guys talked about Pompeii, the whole place that got
Yeah.
buried. There's
Yeah.
you guys said you guys went to a museum about that, right?
Yeah. It
Hmm.
was sick. It
How
was
was
awesome.
it? Tell me about it.
Sad.
So, oh man, it's crazy because you go in. So we have this museum. It's called the Leonardo, and they have different exhibits that come through like every other month or so. And that was one of the exhibits. So we got tickets to go check it out together with our wives at the time, and it was crazy because well, and you talked about Pompeii where they had the like
Brothels.
the kind of fast food, right?
Yeah, but that's
I
not
think
what
that was the fun fact, but
Right.
but we
But
did
we
we went to
were,
like the interactive exhibit where they
yeah.
they pulled up like full marble statues and mosaics that you could see,
But they also had
and
like
like
utensils and stuff, so we could actually see the
yeah,
kind of stuff they would use to eat off of. Not that we
and you
got that fun fact from the museum. That was one that just Heisenberg figured out,
Right.
I
online
just found it
or
somewhere. But like
researching.
you,
But yeah,
the most depressing thing was like just the bodies. Like there was like an
yeah.
infant, like a full infant, and like a dog that
horrible.
was just covered in this plastered ash,
Damn.
and really fucking depressing, but fascinating, I guess, at the same time.
Well, because they had no idea, like the volcano, just the amount of like the explosion. You can only imagine how hot and how fast it had to have just hit over that entire area. And it just, yeah, if you were out, I mean, it didn't matter where, if you were inside or outside, but if you were in that area, you just got covered and killed,
Right.
or you
Well, like
suffocated under the ash.
so, like the exhibit had a video to try and make the experience immersive, where like it frames you as a person on a balcony in Pompeii, and you know the room shakes and you hear an explosion, and then you hear just people screaming,
Fuck.
and like
Yeah.
dogs crying out, and like people losing their minds, like an apocalypse scenario. And then this, because what killed most of them was I think it's called like a plasmic blast, where it's just a wave of heat, like who know,
Yeah.
like five
Holy
or 600
shit.
degrees. It's just
So they got
and
burned.
it's dude, like you
People
take in
got
a breath
cooked.
and your lungs just crisp up and you just drop
Oh
dead.
my
And
god.
so all these people just like just drop dead, and then the ash preserved them. So it's not a terrible way to go, I guess, because it's like
Quick.
30
Quick.
seconds of terror and then you're just out.
Well, I guess, right? If you want to look at it that way.
Yeah.
Hey, we
Did,
all got to go
Yeah.
some way, you know.
right? No, I agree with you. Did
I
you guys?
forgot about that though. Yeah, if you have anxiety, it wouldn't be the best place to like go in and be like, I want to try out what this is like. Cause yeah, it's just people
Yeah, don't do that.
screaming
You know
This
what?
and
is
like the
horrific
rooms.
for
I
real.
I
It's
have
the dog that bothered me the most. People can
yeah.
all fuck themselves.
Yeah, I hear you. I can agree with that. I have a VR headset. I think there has to be something like that for it. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, go find it. That'd be sick if they have one.
What did you guys
Don't go crazy.
when you guys went to that museum, you guys didn't see any of the like the brothel stuff?
I don't remember recalling any brothel stuff. Do you?
Okay, cuz
Maybe
go ahead.
I can't remember. I can't remember. I know that there was like something that was exposed in Pompeii. I don't remember if it was part of the exhibit or not, but like they found a brothel that the room was like sectioned off with pictures of different sexual positions.
Yes.
Like one section would be like the header of the section is like two people doing doggy style, and then like a blowjob, and then like an orgy.
For
And
real, I don't remember this. That's funny.
It's like the menu.
But it was like that's
Yeah.
what they thought. It was a bathhouse. They thought it was a menu, but then it was in the Pompeii research that they were like, no, this is actually more like where you go put your clothes down. Like if you go to the gym now, you put your clothes in a bin and it's in section C. But back then they were like, it's funny to say, oh no, I put my clothes in the blowjob section.
That's
Like
hilarious.
that the room was sectioned off that way because
I
so
like
it's
I
like,
like the
bro,
first one better.
Where'd you put your sandals? Oh, my
Man.
sandals are over by the orgy. The orgy with the two chicks.
That sounds like
Like
somebody
that.
trying to cover up the truth, man.
I
Well,
like the first one
that's
better,
what they
but
tell
the
their
second one's
wives.
funny.
That's what they tell their
Yeah.
wives.
Yeah, I
Oh
went to
no,
take a
that's
No,
just
shower.
where you put
no.
clothes. It's a locker
Baby,
room,
no,
baby.
it's a tongue-in-cheek joke. In fact, tongue-in-cheek, I put my clothes with the blowjob section.
Yeah. Don't go
Yeah.
look in there. Let's just go. Let's just get out of here.
Don't
Don't
worry
go
about
Get out
check.
of
it.
here.
That's not for you. Leave
Don't
it.
worry. Don't worry about it.
Oh man. You
I'm gonna
know
go Pompeii on you if you keep bringing this up.
Oh.
What's that mean?
I'm gonna beat
I'm gonna
her
explode.
because
Oh, I get it
Oh,
now.
maybe that's
Sorry, I thought you were making a pun there or something.
Took me a
Oh no, I was
second.
talking about domestic violence, but it's probably better if we talk
Oh,
about
Oh,
the explosion is actually my cum shot. Is actually what
that's
yeah,
where my mind went. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Well,
yeah,
that's actually like a physiological problem I have is that my cum shots are as hot as Pompeii. So
yeah.
like if
Are
the
they as
girl I'm with doesn't have a whole suit on, like the plasma blast will
are
just
they as
melt.
powerful as Hitchcock?
No.
Have you've seen that movie, right?
Yeah, just
Okay.
like you just kill someone just anytime
No,
you
when
come, just
yeah, he just burst over the fucking roof of the trailer and shit.
yeah.
Well,
Oh
gentlemen,
shit.
I appreciate you gentlemen giving me the time and opportunity to have this great conversation with two of my favorite podcasters. I really appreciate you and your time. Please, please, again, plug everything you have going on, and thank you for giving me an opportunity to have a conversation with Daddy Bones and Heisenberg. Thank you.
Oh, Oscar, man, I'm so glad that you reached out. Super happy that you did because this was super fun. Like, what a you're a badass dude,
Thank
and
you.
we're happy that you're a dabbler for our small little podcast, and hopefully we'll be coming out with a new episode sometime in the recent future. Maybe not in the next couple weeks, but sometime soon. But thanks, man, so much for having us
Figure it
on.
out.
Thank you guys. Heisenberg,
Thank you,
anything?
man. Yeah, real cool. No, nothing to plug, but if anybody's listening, just go listen to all our old shit, and we'll be back. And in that same vein, Oscar, you should just come onto an episode of ours and
Oh,
Yeah.
shoot the
it'll be
shit.
an honor. It'll be a real honor to stand by you guys and just sit there like, tell me more.
Well, what we usually do when we have a guest is like you can pick the topic and I'll do the research and we'll fuck with it and see how it goes.
You get to help crack the jokes. You get to say the wiener jokes and stuff or
Oh,
whatever
hell
comes
yeah.
to mind.
Little wiener jokes.
I'm excited to do it. Yeah, I'm open to do it whenever you guys want. Just shoot me a message and we'll get it right down. Again, thank you guys. Don't hang up.
No problem, man.
All right.
Thanks
No, I
so much,
appreciate it,
man.
bro. Thanks for having us.
Ladies and gentlemen, how much do these two gentlemen retain about history? How much do these gentlemen are exciting to talk to? How much fun are they to talk to? I cannot express my gratitude for Heisenberg and Daddy Bones. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for giving me the time and the place and the opportunity to have this great, wonderful conversation with my two favorite podcasts. I appreciate you and your time. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend. It is the weekend. Enjoy it. Deuces.